my first 3 days, I knew this was not where I'm supposed to be. And after my first week, my entire real estate strategy that I based everything off of in terms of how I was going to make it and be successful in real estate was pretty much debunked as not only being viable, but also being illegal. What's good, people of YouTube? My name is jagged and this is my channel. Picking up from where we left off last week's video talking about my introduction into the world of real estate, today we're going to be covering the basics, going over contracts, protocols of listing properties, how to evaluate properties, setting up my business email, my business phone number, getting those business cards to hand out like paper, and how to interact with other business agencies if a transaction needs you to collaborate. Say they have a client and I have a property, or I have a property and they have a client. How that whole dynamic just melds together. It was all pretty much an introduction to the basics, but it was very important. This pretty much took up the entire week from Monday to Saturday, but in the context of the day, it was about 15 to 30 minutes of talking to go over what we were going over that day. And for the rest of the day, I was free. And as soon as I was left alone, I knew this is not where I'm supposed to be. Let me break down the general dynamic of my office as I see it. So, behold my soon-to-be clients, because I have absolute faith in you that one day you will acquire the bag. And when you do, and you're looking to buy a house, you will come to me, Jindu, in order to do your real estate transaction, to be your agent. Not only do I have real estate know-how, but I am also an artist of boxes. Bear witness. Allow my disembodied voice to give you a virtual tour of my office. Let us begin. So, by order of importance, let me introduce you to everyone and what they do. So obviously, you have me, right? The soon-to-be greatest real estate agent out there who just does this thing, and everyone pretty much, I'm kidding. I'm not about to lose my job. So for the definitive and official list, you have my boss and my supervisor, who you normally find around this area, and they're pretty much the Swiss Army knives of our company. They're both technically full-on agents, which makes them my competition, but I trust you guys to be loyal to the tribe and to come to me for all your real estate needs. But normally, they're just there to handle management and rental properties, so we don't normally clash unless they're showing me the ropes. Moving on, you have our receptionist, who also doubles as our property inspector, who's usually in the office handling phone calls between tenants and landlords, whether that's for paying rent or handling any issues on the property. When she's in the field, she's usually sorting out property inspections, looking at properties, making sure everyone is doing everything and keeping everything in order. Coming up next is our accountant, who does accountant things, which I'm pretty sure involve maths as well as taxes. And that's as much as I know. Moving on. Finally, you have where I am, the real estate agent's corner. More specifically, the real estate agent's desk. Wait, something doesn't seem right. There seems to be a disturbance in the force. Why is there only one desk? I'm pretty sure I'm not the only agent in this company. What's going on? Are we supposed to fight it out? Is it a battle to the death? Is it the best agent left standing who owns the desk? This was my immediate first red flag. This was where I knew I'm probably not supposed to be here. This whole week, this whole time, I have not met any single other real estate agent since I've come to this company. I know they exist, but never have I ever seen them. Something was wrong. To my knowledge, I'm pretty sure we have at least one or probably 2 to 3 other real estate agents in the company. I have never seen them face to face in my life. Let me just give you a rundown of what a real estate agent does in their absolute core form. In my own personal opinion, I pretty much have 4 transactional duties. Find properties to buy, find properties to sell, find properties to rent. Find clients willing to buy and find clients willing to sell. And by willing, I mean willing and able. They want to and they have the money to. As a foundation for these 4 transactional duties, I have 3 interpersonal or emotional duties I need to be able to do first and foremost, which is 1, get people to know me, 2, get people to trust me, and 3, probably the most important, get people to come to me when they want to do those 4 above things. These 4 things can't be accomplished without these 3 things. And can you notice anything similar with these 7 things? Don't worry, I'll give you time. I can't do any of them in the office. The emotional builds on to the transactional. It's like building a house without a foundation. The foundational is the emotional work you put in with other people, and the house is the actual transaction you end up making. For anyone out there who's actually thinking of going into real estate, the number one thing you'll come to realize early on is that it's a people business before being an asset business. You won't accomplish much if people don't know you, they don't trust you, and they don't come to you. All in all, this pretty much makes sense. Because irregardless of what you're doing, if you're selling the world's largest mansion or you're renting out a tiny cottage, for the people you're facilitating this transaction with, this is going to be a huge investment for them, both financially, legally, and personally. Financially speaking, people are likely going to be putting a significant portion of their income into what you recommend regarding where they rent, who they rent to, who they sell from, or where they buy a house. These aren't financially light investments. Property of any form isn't a light investment.
And it's gone! This line is for people who have money.
Legally, everything you do in real estate is going to have tons of paperwork and contracts that's going to legally bind everyone except you as an agent to the transaction that's being done here. For months, years, potentially for some people, the transaction you help facilitate is going to be their entire livelihood. And if you can understand just how hard it is to get a pinky promise from someone, I promise you, getting someone to sign multiple contracts is pinky promises to the nth level.
Protect you no matter what. I pinky promise.
You can't go back on a pinky promise.
And finally, onto the personal commitment side of things, a home is a sanctum. The people you're dealing with are going to trust you that you have their best interest in mind in getting them a place to live where they can feel at home. You aren't going to get people who are going to put their trust in you to partake in this much risk if they don't know you, they don't trust you, and they don't come to you. And because the 4 transactional options of being a real estate agent are founded on these 3 emotional bases, it creates a continuous cycle that needs you to continuously be getting people to know you, trust you, and come to you. If they don't know you, they can't trust you. If they don't trust you, they can't come to you. And if they don't come to you, what are you doing?
Do me a favor, please. Get out of here. Get out of here!
You have no business. I came into real estate pretty much knowing all of this. If you watched my first video, which you should, shameless plug, you can go there and watch it now. I'll put it up somewhere here, but if you watch it, you'll know that I pretty much came into real estate fully prepared.
I'm ready!
It was pretty much a shock of,
hey guys, you're getting comfortable, but this isn't what you're supposed to be doing. You know this. Get out of here.
instead of,
Oh no, I don't know what I'm doing. Real estate is really hard. I never expected that I'd have to do this.
if anything, the shock got me ready to get out there.
I'm ready.
I knew as an agent, the chances of you getting a blind referral, someone who just comes to you out of the blue, doesn't know you from a friend, doesn't know you from an acquaintance, never saw you on any piece of media, never saw you advertising a property, the chances of getting someone like that was slim to zero, or at least slim enough that you couldn't rely on this to make a living, let alone make it to the top of the real estate mountain, which I want to do. So come to me. And every day after that first week, after we'd have our discussion over the basics, and I'd just be there twiddling my thumbs behind my desk, I knew I needed to get out there and build my name, let people know I'm here, and not only convince them that they can trust me, but also that I'm the best option for the job.
Truth is, I am.
Ishe Jindu. On top of that, I needed a way to do this repeatedly, because it's not every day that someone is selling a house looking to rent out. So I needed to do this to the point that if ever that day came when someone wanted to do any real estate transaction, they would be able to find me and get a backlog of information that can get them to know me, trust me, and come to me.
Everywhere I go, I see his face.
To facilitate that real estate transaction. So whatever I was doing needed to be done continuously. Unfortunately, I guess, This is the point where most real estate agents fail because they come across the most useless, useful piece of real estate advice that I and most people continuously hear. Network in your circle. Let me dissect this phrase as to why it is the best, worst piece of information you can have as a real estate agent. On the side of why this is good information, it really does hold ground into being a foundation on your real estate journey, no matter the stage, whether you're a beginner, advanced, selling houses, selling mansions. Letting your circle know that you're in real estate is always good advice. Especially when you're starting out, no one knows you, so no one can trust you and no one can come to you, except those people who already know you, already hopefully trust you, and are more likely to come to you.
Mommy! Mama! Mama! Mama!
What?
I'm an agent. So makes sense, right? Extra advice, right? No. Personally, I feel the negatives of this statement is more likely to be damaging than it is to be helpful, especially for new agents. Why? For starters, this statement should already be redundant to you as an agent. As soon as you get in there, you should already be making sure your entire circle knows you're a real estate agent. You should have it on your Instagram, on your Facebook, on your name badge, as a sticker on your car, as a status. People should already know you're an agent, even before you're an agent.
But we're not number one until we do this.
Who you calling?
Everyone. I probably have 2 years of backlog of telling people I'm interested in real estate. One day I'm gonna do real estate, just to get the ball rolling, even before I got into real estate. This advice isn't real estate 101. It's more real estate ground zero. After that, this statement really is rather deceptive. In my first video of this story time, I went over how 98% of real estate agents fail. The majority of that, I would say 80 to 90% of it, are people who inevitably just quit and realize real estate isn't what they cut out for. But that other final 8% or final 18% to make the 98% is people who only rely on their circle to get any leads for real estate transactions. Would you imagine if Bill Gates only thought, hey, I'm going to sell Microsoft products only to my friends and family? Or if Jeff Bezos only said, hey, I want to sell books, but I'm only going to sell them to my friends and family? Not gonna work, not a good idea. But for some reason, in real estate, people take this term to heart and have selling to your inner circle as the entire cake instead of the icing on the cake, or how I see it, it should really only be the cherry on the cake. Unless your inner circle comprises of real estate moguls who buy real estate daily, weekly, monthly, annually, who are continuously buying real estate to the point that you can make your living off just your friends and family buying houses, move on. Get it out there, let people know you're doing real estate, but then focus on getting the people you don't know and have zero association with to know you're in real estate. Hi there, I'm Ishe Jinju and I'm in real estate. Are you looking to buy, sell or rent? Hi. And make them your cake and your icing. I had to get on the radar of the invisible outer circle of people who have no idea whatsoever an Ishe Jindu is and what an Ishe Jindu does. I personally pictured it like this. If my real estate potential was a pie, focusing on my inner circle would be cutting a piece to eat this size, while focusing on my outer circle would be cutting a piece to eat like this. Sorry, I meant like this. This is because both the people in your personal inner circle and the outer circle aren't always looking at real estate 24/7 like I am. So even if you focused on your inner circle, there's no guarantee that at this moment or next month or the month after that, people in your circle are going to give you real estate or are going to be looking for real estate at that time. The objective is to cast your net as wide as you can so that you can catch as many people who are looking at real estate. So that meant getting this face as out there in front of as many people as I could and letting them know, hi, I'm Ishe Jindu. I am currently or soon to be the best real estate agent out there. So if you're looking for any real estate transactions, come to me. And again, large naive me had already thought of this and planned this out. I'd already gotten my inner circle to know, hey, I'm in real estate now. Come to me if you're looking for anything. Come to me if you have a property to put on the market. So I was fully dedicated to put all my time into hitting the outer invisible circle. And can you guess how I wanted to do that? You got it? Alright, moment of truth. I'm finished. My initial point-blank strategy to get this face in front of as many people as I could was to do it directly, face-to-face, through door knocking.
I am the one who knocks.
Or commonly in Zimbabwe, gate knocking / intercom ringing. And again, for the uninitiated, and those of you who never got to enjoy the incredible screenplay that is Death of a Salesman, R.I.P. Mr. Willie Loman, allow me to give you my best description of my door knocking strategy. But before that, might I be so bold as to inquire, madam, also hast thou raised thy fist up high in order to smash the like button as well as tap gently the subscribe button? If not, would you kindly? Moving on. So door knocking, gate knocking, doorbell ringing, whatever you want to call it, involves the following 4 steps. 4 steps, maybe 5. I think 4. We'll find out. And those steps are coming right up. Right guys, so I'm out here in the field just for you in order to give you top quality, top notch, top tier content. So I'm out here in the field going to demonstrate how door knocking works on all 3 variations. So starting off, you see we have a door right here with all its door properties like this doorknob that allows it to open. So this is my house, so it won't work as it would in reality. But if you were to apply the door knocking strategy with a typical door like this one, door hinges, doorknob, what you would do, you wouldn't open the door first because that's definitely illegal. What you'd have to do is just see that many knocks. I'll count that later, but that's the number of knocks you need to do. That's very respectful and won't get you tasered or maced in the face or have many verbal profanities launched your way. Maybe. If you are at a home with a gate, like this one with gate properties, as you can see, you'd need to apply the appropriate door knocking gate strategy. As you can see, gates will sometimes have holes and they're usually made out of metal, so you can't just knock any way you want. You have to target the metal. But you see it has a deeper ringing tone, so you might want to get a ring and tap it like that in order to create the noise and call your dogs. And finally, some homes have intercom systems like this one, as you can see with its intercom properties. And so in order to do these things here, so long as the house in question has electricity, which isn't always the case, you would have to apply the necessary intercom door knocking strategy, which involves the following. As you can see there, we covered the first 2 actions of door knocking. Number 1, which I'm sure you all guessed and assumed, you need a door or a gate or an intercom in order to initiate action 2, which is knocking, or in the sense of the intercom, pressing a button in order to initiate stage 3, the communication request stage, which is a very important stage. In the event that someone actually answered your door knocking, even though you may have technically invaded their space, but you're here to get your name out and make sales, and they'll love you for it later. So don't focus on that. At this stage, once you get the reply, you need to initiate your already pre-planned and adjustable script. The script is going to be how you introduce yourself immediately with action and oomph, so that they already start to like you and forget that you pretty much disturb their day, but it's for a greater cause, as they'll find out immediately or in the near future. Luckily for you, I have my exact script that I wrote 2 to 3 months ago, or my multiple scripts that I wrote 2 to 3 months ago, in order to get that oomph, to get clients and referrals and people to like me when I interrupt their day in order to get their real estate. And I am not going to read it to you right now because I'm holding it hostage until this post hits 50 likes, after which I will not only read my previous outdated script, but I will take you through my script designing technique, as well as if I approve of the script I wrote then and how I'll change it now. So get me to 50 likes, people. 50 likes. After action 3, you're either at one of two possible positions. Position 1, the favorable option. The person you've talked to has actually been wooed and charmed by your script, as we planned, and you are now continually moving them down the funnel towards listing their property, helping them find a property, whatever really needs to be done for the property transaction that they're interested in. The other position, position 2, the unfavorable position, is very variable in what can exactly happen here. You could either be sweared at, ignored, insulted, maced, have the hound released on you, or any other of these potential rejections. But it really doesn't matter, because irregardless of whether you got response A or response B, step number 4 is always consistent. Repeat. Repeat, 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 repeat again, and again, and again, and again, again, again. No matter what happens to you when you don't knock on a single property, the ultimate way to make this strategy work and how I plan to use it was to go again and again and again and again for at least, I can't remember, but I think my initial plan was at least hit 50 homes every 2 days. Damn! It might have been more, it might have been less, but irregardless, I was ready for it. I remember before I actually applied for my job, I'd already scouted out a location that I wanted to door knock through. I'd planned it all out. I had the snacks, I had the water, I had the disinfectant, I had Google Maps on speed dial, and I had a full tank of petrol, which is very important in Zimbabwe. And after getting all of this set up and ready to go, on the last day of going over the basics with my supervisor, we had a talk about advertising myself, getting out there, getting clients, and obviously going through the whole internal circle recommendation, to which I brought up my revolutionary door knocking strategy in order to impress her and prove to her my moxie and dedication towards making it in real estate. Do you know what I was told? It's illegal. In my head, I won't lie, I was sort of going,
Why are we still here? Just to suffer? Every night, I can feel my leg and my arm.
But true enough, after trying for a good 10 to 15 minutes to explain door knocking to this seasoned real estate agent, I'm pretty sure she was just
Like, what's wrong with this child? Does he cannot understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? That his entire plan is illegal and can't be applied.
She finally got it through my thick head. At which point I literally felt like
I don't feel so good.
You're alright.
I don't know what's happening. I don't
feel so good, Mr. Gender. Nope. You'll probably find out if you continue watching my videos, which you should, and you should like, and you should subscribe, and you should get your uncle to like, and you should get your aunt to like, and you should get your sister, your brother, your parents, your dog, your cats, everything to like, subscribe, and comment down below on my channel. Wait. Oh yeah, I am very stubborn. So instead of going home to try and re-strategize my plan for getting my name out there in real estate, do you know what I did? I literally got onto Google, looked up the communication details of our estate agents council, tried to email them, their email didn't work for some reason, got their phone number, called them, asked them to email me a document of all the real estate advertising laws, went over those laws 3 times, gave them to a lawyer friend, continued to go over them, I don't know how many times, came back to me with a review, and you know what we found out? It wasn't illegal. There was no mention of door knocking in the rules and regulations of how you need to conduct yourself to advertise myself, is what I would say, if not for the fact that after I reviewed all the documentation and was sure door knocking was legal, I called back the estate agents council to just be like, thank you for helping me, really be informative. The lady on the other side was like, oh no
problem, young man, we're glad to have enthusiastic people in real estate. Do you mind we ask them? We wanted the advertising details anyway. What's going on?
And since I was pretty sure that I'd obviously done my due diligence, checked it twice, gotten a lawyer to check it, pretty much just told them, oh, I'm looking to door knock. I wasn't sure if it was legal. I looked through your documentation. It's not mentioned, so I'm just going to go ahead. And the following response was pretty much, oh, it's not in there. Makes sense, but it's absolutely illegal. So what I came to find out after talking to this lady for 15 to 20 minutes is that door knocking is pseudo illegal. And by pseudo illegal, I mean it's universally frowned upon by other real estate agents. Not because it's improper and we are invading someone else's space, but because many real estate agents long back before I was born, probably not that long back, all agreed that door knocking should not be done because it led to poaching of other people's clients. But in my mind, I was like,
Listen, how do you get poached if you're just good? If you're getting poached, it's not because someone door knocked, it's because you are probably incompetent, in my opinion.
where door knocking is legal is in commercial residential properties, such as flats, apartments, cluster homes, things like that. You are allowed to door knock in order to talk to the owner of the establishment and ask them if they have any properties they want rented out. But you can't door knock to talk to a residential individual on whether they want to partake in a real estate transaction with you. In my personal opinion, this is one of two real estate laws in Zimbabwe that I find rather weird. And we'll talk about the next one somewhere down the line. But because my personal opinions don't matter, the case was closed. The result was the same. I was utterly and brutally defeated. And I had a big fat zero plans on how I was going to make my mark in the real estate landscape. It was pretty much the end for me. For the next 2 weeks, I had no real idea for how I was going to get my name out there besides my internal circle. And that, to be honest, put me in a rather dark place. I was properly doubting coming into real estate at that point. That is until... Hey, yo, good people of YouTube. As you can see, I'm in my natural habitat, bad lighting and all. If you've made it this far in this very long video, I absolutely, 100%, completely, really, truly appreciate you. But we're gonna have to cut it short and end it here. Cut it short, cut it long. Damn it, that was a pretty long video. It's officially 9 p.m. and I've just finished editing and dude, it was too much. I don't even know. I was having so much fun, but at the same time, I didn't know if I was gonna get it done on time. It was hectic, but I enjoyed every second of it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Go watch it. Get me to 50, what did I ask for? 50 likes. You know what? 50 subs. Like, did you see the dedication and the hard work put into this video? Just 50 subs. Just click the subscribe button right there. But anyway, if you really did make it this far, you're the best. And so, as a reward, I'm gonna leave you with some bloopers of a few tiny snippets of what happened while recording this video. Taking out most of them, but one day I might just upload a blooper session long haul. But anyway, appreciate you. Like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. You're the one. I forget, I'll see you next week Wednesday, same time as always, for hopefully, definitely the last part of this trilogy series to just get it over and done with, and then we move on to the real content that I want to produce. And peace. 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 Here's the camera. Peace. Do 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 do. Da ra 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 ra. The cherry on the cake. It should really only be. Nigga, knock on the gate of your old. What if you knock on the